Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Outdoor Sports Club. It is time for another Financial Friday, never on Fridays, and today we're talking about debt stacking. Debt stacking is the process of taking whatever you're paying on all of your debt and applying as much as you can to cover your minimums, and any excess you put on whatever the next loan is that you need to pay off. So usually that's whatever is going to pay off the quickest. Sometimes it's whatever has the highest interest rate, so you can get out from under that interest rate the fastest. It's some combination of those things, but you're basically applying everything you can to your debt. You're making all of your payments, but any extra that you have goes on one particular debt. Then the real key to debt stacking is once you pay off a single debt, you apply everything you are paying to that debt onto the next most important one to pay it off. One thing to remember about debt stacking is that it doesn't necessarily appear that you're making much progress at first, but I guarantee you if you get one or two debts paid off, it'll really start making some progress. And to show how that works, I've got an example here. This is just kind of a average example, I guess, for this part of the world. We have a $120,000 house that we just got into. We have a car with this particular balance, and we've got 48 months left on that. We've got another car with that balance, 36 months left on that. We've got a $10,000 maxed out high interest rate revolving credit card. We've got a $5,000 low interest rate credit card. All of these payments I calculated. These minimum payments on the credit cards I just got from an online calculator where they take your balance compared to your limit and they figure out what your minimum monthly payment would be. This adds up to almost $180,000 in debt and just over $2,000 in monthly payments. And in this particular example, we're not paying any extra on either side. This is normal, just paying the debt like most people normally do, making minimums and exact payments. This side is paying is debt snowballing or debt stacking, they call it. There's probably called other things as well. So obviously on this side, in 26 months, we make our last payment on that credit card. In 36, we make the car on time. And in 48, we make the other car on time. Notice that these car balances are way more than that $10,000 credit card. But here's a lesson in credit cards. If you're paying a high interest rate, a lot of your money's going to interest, not principal, and you pay that down slowly. So we make our last payment in 54 months, and then obviously the mortgage gets paid in 360 months. I think it winds up the last payment's 359 here, but there may be some rounding on my simplified math here, but it's pretty close. So that's just paying like most people pay. Over here, if we pay down our credit card, that first credit card gets paid off in the exact same amount of time. We take this $200 up here, and let me split this, okay? I should have done this before. Oh, they keep moving stuff on me. They haven't moved things in a while, so it's just me forgetting. Okay, so we take that $200 and we apply it. In this case, we're going to apply it onto this car because it's our next shortest one. We get it paid off a little bit early, just a few months early. And then we apply that onto that credit card and we get it paid off quite early, and then we apply that to the other car and we get it paid off a few months early. But then the real kicker is on the house. So we get the house paid off in 101 months. So in this particular scenario, we've paid off our house in 8.5 years instead of 30 years. And if we took, every time we pay off a debt here, if we take that money and we put it in a savings account, every cent, we would, over the course of that 30 years, we would save $461,000, which is huge. If we do debt stacking, and then after, obviously we're not saving any extra money as we pay off these debts because we're snowballing that, we're stacking that onto the next debt. So we only start saving money after this 101st month. But we would still catch up and surpass our savings over here, and we would get to almost $531,000, which is almost $70,000 more than this 30-year note. So it's not a lot over 30 years, but consider being out of debt for 25 plus years plus saving $531,000 as opposed to being in debt for 30 years and saving $461,000. Now I want to show what would happen if you had extra. If you applied just a little bit extra. It doesn't make a huge difference, but the more you pay, the faster it goes, obviously. So in this scenario, I've kind of changed the order based on what looked like would be most beneficial. Because you're not going to pay these in the same order. It depends on what the rates are, and it depends on what the balances are. You'll want to talk to somebody. You'll either want to do some calculations yourself to see which would be most beneficial, or talk to somebody who's a professional about this kind of stuff to see, which debt you should pay first. But in this case, I've switched it up a little bit. We're paying extra, so this first credit card gets paid off a little bit faster than in our other scenario. And then we apply that to, I guess we applied that to, did we do it in the same order? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, good deal. I didn't think it was in the same order. So then we apply that to this next credit card, and we pay it off pretty quick. Then the car, and the house, and in this case, we get out of debt in less than 8 years, and we save ourselves $124,000 extra. So same scenario, but just more savings.
Oh, yes. Thanks for watching.